Today, the terms medicinal and aromatic plants are often used together when we are talking about the medicinal herbs. At the same time, we are talking about the aromatic herbs as well. Medicinal and aromatic plants are used as medicines to prevent diseases, maintain health, or cure diseases in human and animal sector. Medicinal plants are used in areas such as nutrition, cosmetics, body care, incense or religious ceremonies, while aromatic plants are used to give good smell and taste. Mostly how you say in English, I try to find the right word, mostly like China, Taiwan, Japan, Singapore, Far East countries mostly, they are using too much, and India also very big potential of this kind of herbs. And of course, they are using the plants have been used in continue to be used in treatment of many diseases, especially after 1990s, the discovery of new areas of use for medicinal and aromatic herbs, and the increase in the demand for natural products increased the volume of use of these plants day by day. Recently, after chemical medicines and the side effect of the chemical medicines, people demand much more medicinal herbs than before. And let me tell you that today is estimated that the medicinal plants market has an annual figure of approximately $60 billion. Can you imagine the potential of the marketing about this kind of products? $60 billion. In recent years, the world herbal drug trade volume is around probably $20 billion annually, and it's expected to increase future in the coming years. If the world essential oil export value is recently it was realized as 3 billion marketing about the herbs in the world.
Kemal?
I mentioned about the importance of this kind of herbs, and I will start to my presentation. Let me tell you about the purpose of this presentation. My presentation goes to provide scientific information about the historic collection, processing, and the use of aromatic plants, especially medicinal plants that have been used directly or indirectly by humanity for thousands of years, and to contribute to the education of the target groups in this sense. We all heard about the medicinal herbs. Even there are thousands of the seller medicinal herbs and many customers that they are using medicinal herbs, but really neither sellers or buyers cannot say much about this kind of herbs. They just traditionally knows that this herbs is useful for this illness or it's useful for this dishes, etc. But we will make it clear about our next presentations. I will tell you more about table of contents. We will have definitions, introduction to the medicinal and the aromatic herbs, and we will mention about the utilization and the mother plants nursery, and the last topics will be legislation and the conclusion. Medicinal aromatic plants are botanical raw materials, also known as herbal drugs for many years, thousands of years, that are primarily used for therapeutic, aromatic, and or culinary purposes, and the components of cosmetics, medicinal products, health foods, and other national health products. They are also the starting materials for value-added proceed natural ingredients such as essential oil, dry and liquid extracts, and oleoresins. I showed you some of our Technoparks companies products that we are making the same products like medicinal and healthy foods. There is a clear industrial demand for MAPs thanks to the increased production of herbal health care formulations, herbal-based cosmetics, and this cosmetic products and herbal nutritional supplements. In addition, traditional healthcare practitioners, traditional healers, and the consumption at the household level have all contributed to the demand for herbal medicinal products. Finished products made from medicinal and aromatic plants are increasingly prescribed and bought over the counter. Before the concept of history began, humans undoubtedly acquired life benefits by discovering medicinal and aromatic plants that were food and medicine. As our early ancestors learned to recognize and consume selected plants, civilization and personal and group health could advance. Traditional medicine would become part of every civilization, with medicinal and aromatic plants widely used and applied to maintain life. Undoubtedly, the variety of available plant materials would be tested to determine whether a plant was valuable as a food or medicine. Today, a variety of available herbs and spices are used and enjoyed throughout the world and continue to promote good health. As the benefits from medicinal and aromatic plants are recognized, these plants will have a special role for humans in the future. Not only humans, but also our livestock, our pets too. The oldest available medicinal records written in 5000 and 3000 before Jesus by Sumerians. I don't know, maybe you don't know the history of the Sumerian. Sumerians lived in Anatolia, Mesopotamia. I mean, in big part of the Turkey. Yeah, Sumerians or clay tablets demonstrate that humans understood diseases and that the use of medicine containing plants and could help maintain and restore good health. Medicinal plants discovered on the preserved body known as Ötzi. Probably you have heard about the Ötzi, the Iceman that was accidentally killed between 3,400 and 3,100 before Jesus in the cold mountains Alpines, suggests that others were aware of medicinal plants. Can you imagine that 1,000 years ago people knew about the health of this kind of medicinal herbs? While the story of our early ancestors and medicines is incomplete, the value of medicinal plants in curing and maintaining health is fully recognized. Let me tell you about the contemporary medicine. They say that half of the modern medicine comes from the herbs, even this century too. And let me go on. Plants which are subject to destruction by foraging animals and insects undoubtedly survived by producing repulsive, distasteful chemical constituents that repelled foraging animals. Human could be selective in the parts of a plant they would eat, observing that consuming plant tissues such as fruits, leaves, or roots of some species made people feel better. From these initial beginnings, gardens of desirable plants would be established for the food and the plant constituents that helped humans remain healthy. Throughout time, medicinal care has continually progressed, moving from illness to vaccinations and the new medicines, along with improved healthcare facilities that can more accurately diagnose and treat health problems. Advancements in modern medicine and medical care have enabled people to live longer and healthier lives. New medicines from plant materials and antibiotics from microflora have defeated most diseases. By using tissue and blood samples along with X-rays and other materials, medicinal laboratories are able to diagnose the affliction, ensuring the physician can recommend the appropriate medicine in the appropriate amount. One prehistorical ancestors could only rely on their senses to test plants and plant constituents for taste and medicinal activity. From this beginning, however, medicinal and aromatic plants have brought many benefits, such as food flavoring, medicines, preservatives, decorations, beauty, and the personal pleasure. Accumulated knowledge of medicinal and aromatic plants from ancient history until today has passed from generation to generation, improving health and healthy life. While the importance of medicinal and aromatic plants is not recognized by everyone, loss of species due to climate changes, plant diseases, or other plant attacks could eliminate several plant species along with the benefits to which we are accustomed. Go on the history of the medicinal herbs. Could you please just just let me tell you that our animals also can make their ration from the nature as a medicinal herbs, including medicinal herbs too. Most of animals can learn how to treat themselves by medicinal herbs in the nature too. I mean that even our animals know which medicinal herbs is benefit for their body, not only human too. You get what I mean?
Yes, yes.
And really they know that some of herbs consist some toxic materials. They are away from the herbs, or they are
Probably,
using
Kemal,
less.
probably we learned from the animals at the beginning.
Yeah. We also learn from animals. That's true. That's why animal physiologists, animal toxicologists, animal behaviorists, that they are checking our animals all the time and they are following them too. I will tell you much more interesting things in future. Let me go on now. Encourage a lot of practices the knowledge went down to later age. On the other hand, various climates on Earth have encouraged the selection of species. Eventually, many regional, specific, and unique medicinal and aromatic plants exist in the whole world. Medicinal and aromatic plants and ethnobotany were used for an original medicine of each civilizations and cultures. It comes from Greeks thousands years ago, from Sumers, from Hittites, etc. The movement of human causes the spread of knowledge and distribution of materials. Dramatic events of history were the discoveries of spatial plants and the chemical health constituents within the plants. Due to the scarcity of the plant materials, people ventured throughout the world to seek new spice plants and the habitat in which these plants grew. By the 18th centuries, 1/8, spice were recognized as a medicine, a preservative, and food flowering. By the 18th century, important substances were discovered and invented, important substances for human plus animals' health. Many synthesized medicines were patterned after plant extracts that provide outlines for new modern medicines. Recently, I tell you something more. Recently, we are focusing on the bee products as a therapeutic for human and animal diseases. When I'm checking all the articles that written by experts in the world, we are using PubMed, public medicine, which is Bible of the medicine. I recognize that the cancer rate is less in India. You know why? Because Indian using many plant extracts and many spices in their kitchen. That's why, and the related scientist says that Indian kitchen is very rich about the medicinal herbs, aromatic herbs, that against the cancer cell. That's why the cancer rate is much more lesser than European countries in India. It's really very meaningful. And the Professor Harun says that the excavation of the historical areas, people found many medicinal herbs in the skeleton of the people. Encourage a lot of practices. Yeah, practices the knowledge went down or later age. On the other hand, various climates on Earth and have encouraged the selection of species. Eventually, many regional, specific, and unique medicinal and aromatic plants exist in the world. Let me go. Start of uses. Past. We will talk about the past and the start of uses. Since the primitive age, thousands of years ago, our ancestors ate plants and the likely found medicines accidentally and used for the treatments. The history related to human and medicine is long. The oldest record was, I mentioned before, and before 5 and 3,000 of Jesus. And Alps from Ötzi, the Iceman used to plant medicines. Since then, for many centuries, human repeated trial and error and accumulate knowledge. At the same time, human likely thought to preserve the plants for a sudden health problem immediately, such as dried plants, and started cultivations too. For example, cannabis, you know cannabis? Yeah, was cultivated in ancient Egypt, and opium, poppy, was cultivated in lower Mesopotamia and used in 3400 before Jesus. And also it's really very actual product recently. I mean, opium poppy to use it as a painkiller. After humans started to use language, they started recording medicinal information for plants, and the records went down in later age. Let me tell you more about brief history of traditional medicines. Before century, ancient civilizations were occurred around the four biggest rivers, the Nile, Tigris, Indus, and Yellow River, which had own characteristic medicine. In China, before Jesus, 2800 and 1700, Pan Cao Sang Nung investigated about medicine and drug and established a foundation for traditional Chinese medicine. Later, Tao Hanjing, it was 452 and 536. Categorized medicinal plants to three phases. Look, the first, second, and third. The first phase is harmlessness for long-term use. The second phase is mixed toxic and non-toxic, one and as tonic. The third phase includes many toxic plants for curing diseases and they shouldn't take for a long term. In Anatolia, in Mesopotamia, the oldest medicinal text around 2600 before Jesus was found. The type, cypress oil, lysoricin, and opium were used frequently. A medicine of Egypt was started from 2900 before Jesus. the knowledge of drugs were recorded on papyrus. You know, papyrus was the cultivated near to the Nile River, especially Ebers. Papyrus, which was written around 1500 before Jesus, showed us more than 800 prescriptions, such as a colutrium and inhalant and suppository and poultice and a lotion as a lotion. Greek Roma medicine was influenced of Egyptian medicine. It means Egyptian medicine has very big effect on Greek Roma medicine as well. And then ancestors of the Demetrius, who was Hippocrates, used about 60 kinds of medicinal plants for medical treatments. The Materia Medica written by Dioscorides was used as the World Bible of Medicine until 16th century. And Galen or Galenus, called the greatest doctor in Roman era, developed many pharmaceutical preparations called Galenicil preparations. Now the preparations are used even in prison. The oldest pharmacy came into being in Baghdad in Islamic culture. The pharmacy carried Arabic spices, medicines of Persia, India, and China, camphor, clove, and musk. Avicenna, you call him Avicenna, but we call him Ibn Sina, called Galenus of Arab, had written book of healing and canon of medicine, and invented steam distillation of essential oil extraction, which is very important in this century. And currently an estimated 70,000 plant species are used in traditional medicine. Let's come now, present. Medicinal and aromatic plants for human plus animal life. The magical compound of medicinal and aromatic plants keeps saving human until present, such as medicine, food, healing, and recreation. One of the huge benefits from medicinal and aromatic plants was to overcome many difficult illnesses, such as contagious diseases, cancer, AIDS, HIV, and the National Cancer Institute screens plants for the possibility of new drugs and active plant chemicals for cancer and AIDS, HIV. In several ongoing collaborative programs indicated anti-cancer drugs which have received FDA approval and commercial production. Given table below indicated anti-cancer drugs, please check it very carefully, which have received FDA approval for commercial products. Look, now most of the oncological patients using a drug named Taxol, paclitaxel. It comes from the plant resources. We call it Pacific yew tree. In Turkish, we call it porsuk ağacı. Yeah, that's true. Porsuk. Yes, porsuk ağacı means we are extracting some extract of the Pacific yew tree to cure the cancer. Now the first drug of choice in several tumors, cancer, including breast cancer, mostly breast cancer. Can you see that we are using taxol from Pacific U3 to treat several tumors, cancer, including breast cancer. And vinblastine, and it comes from Madagascar, periwinkle. And now we are using vinblastine for leukemia. We call it leukemia. And vincristine, it comes from Madagascar, periwinkle. It's another anti-leukemic drug. Toposetan, it comes from Camptothecra acuminata, has been approved by FDA for the treatment of ovarian and small cell lung cancer. The lung has many types of the cancer. This one is most important, small cell, not big cell, small cell lung cancer. It's most important cancer type of the liver. And we can make several examples. The extract of the plant resource and against cancer and some other century diseases. I mean that still in this century we are using many herbs, many plant resources to cure important illness such as cancer, etc. And let's come integrated medicine, which is I really believe in so much. Integrated medicine is a medicine to perform a satisfiable living and improve the quality of life. Integrated medicine is accepted is not only the treatment of illness, but also in the treatment of the presymptomatic state, prevention of illness or maintenance of health. Integrated medicine includes, for example, Western and Eastern medicine and traditional medicine. Each medicine has strong and weak point. The advantage of Western medicine is quick action by operation and the medicine and examination. Weak point is side effect. You can say modern medicine too. I mean Western medicine. On the other hand, the advantage of Eastern medicine is that it can make a balance of whole body regarding inveterate and chronicity diseases and for infant, aged and pregnant women, and the weak point might be the time consumption for cure. The patient chooses the most appropriate treatment depending on the circumstances. However, the most important thinking regarding cure is self-healing power that could cure yourself using medicinal help, not the drug that cures yourself. Let's talk about the medicinal and aromatic plants in Asia. Recently, people concerned health of body and the mind, prevention diseases, detox, and longevity. Consequently, integrated medicine or preventive medicine is focused and accepted in modern medicine and daily life. Some medicinal and aromatic plants, origins of Asia, are daily used in the world because of the popularity and the variety. Daily use medicinal plants were enumerated below. Okay, let's talk about the future of the medicinal and aromatic herbs. Expect role. medicinal marijuana. Who don't know marijuana? I think everybody knows marijuana. Marijuana, cannabis sativa, a plant frequently referred to as cannabis or pot, is a psychoactive medicinal drug plant. The plant tissues synthesize cannabinoid acids that under warm temperatures are converted to two major constituents, tetrahydrocannabidiol, abbreviated as THC, and cannabidiol, abbreviated as CBD. THC is an intoxicant plant constitutes that activates a brain receptor that initiates the intoxication and activates a pleasurable reward system in the brain. CBD, a non-psychoactive content in marijuana, is considered to have therapeutic applications, especially for seizures. Undoubtedly, Professor Harun knows about it much more than me. You want to say something? It says that it's free in Netherlands and some Scandinavian countries to use the medicinal marijuana. And let's talk about, and also it's very, very important herbs to get fiber. And we are using this herbs more than 25,000 products. It's really very, very well-known herb. Let's talk about the. Now we have many associations to cultivation and dissemination of these herbs in Turkey too. Development of new drug, progress of research. Let's talk about it for future. Pharmaceutical industry is growing every year, especially in the industry in the United States, added and estimated like 790 billion to the economy in 2014. Organic chemical of plants materials will give a hint to create a new drug, including the level of family, plant species, and cultivators. Today, at least 120 distinct chemical substances derived from plants are considered as important drugs. 120 distinct chemical substances. The structure of compound and the constituent shows unique medicinal action, and the knowledge and practice of traditional medicinal plants indicated the appreciated uses for the symptom. The information will become a signpost to develop a new drug. Traditional medicinal plants and ethnobotany have possibility to be great resources, such as artemisinin. You remember, Harun, artemisinin they used against they used against the COVID-19. One single component was identified, extraction or synthesis was possible, which is almost full drug stage. After clinical trial indicated effectiveness, the compound will be a new drug. Traditional medicinal plants and ethnobotany have possibility to be great resources, such as artemisinin, discovered in Artemisia annua. We call it in Turkish peygamber süpürgesi. I mean profit cleaning, like these things, and quinine from Cinchona officinalis. Once single compound was identified, extraction or synthesis was possible, which is almost full drug stage. After clinical trial indicated effectiveness, the compound will be a new drug. You can see below the compound groups included in essential oil and action of the compound groups. For example, compound group is hydrocarbon and typically constituent pinene, limonene, action stimulants, decontingent, antiviral, and anti-tumor. For example, let's say ketone, its typical constituent camptothecone, and it's against the neurotoxin, and it helps for cell regeneration. And let's say phenol, it's, for example, thymol, ogenol, carbacorol, it's antimicrobial stimulants, immune function stimulants. We know all this, the function of the compound groups in our Technopark company. That's why we are using this knowledge to produce some new plant-based medicines, even not selling under the name of medicine, but we are using it like health protector, like healing foods in the sector, because you cannot marketing it very easily, because there are lots of the big capitalist companies that they not given permission to sell it, even they are much more stronger than their products too. Prospects. A research group assessed late 21st century distribution for 1,350 European plants species under 7 climate change scenarios. As a result, more than half of the species could be vulnerable or threatened by 2080. As is generally known, some countermeasures against climate change need an enduring cooperative effort from national and international interdisciplinary researchers, as we do it. As is generally known, some countermeasures against climate change need an enduring cooperative effort from national and international interdisciplinary researchers. I think the first part of my presentation is all. It's over. If you have any questions, I will be very pleased to reply you.